Hey everybody, Pat Mesiti here, and coming to you from a really powerful, let me say controversial weekend, and I might add, some people really show their colours, and not only in Australian politics, but in life in general. And I'm going to say some things today that are pretty controversial, and I know that I'm going to annoy some of you, and quite frankly, I actually don't care. I don't care because I want to stand for truth. And having made errors in my life, I know the pain of not standing for truth. But I'll get to that in a minute. Airbus Albanese has spent more time overseas, in my opinion, than he has in running this country. Now, of course, he's off to meet with people, leaders in Spain and wherever. The country is a mess. And all this guy wants to do is get on an Airbus and fly overseas to beat his chest. This guy is just like Kevin Rudd. I don't know what it is with the Labor Party. They're more interested in impressing overseas leaders than they are looking after the country. Albo, the country's a mess. Now, of course, we all know what he's going to do. He's going to go over and put his brave on and visit the Ukraine because that's the woke thing to do. And I'm not saying that what is happening in the Ukraine is at all right. It is bad. It is terrible. It is suffering. But what is the difference between Albanese leaving our country in such a mess right now and what Morrison did? Now, please don't tell me it was the bushfires and everything else. I get it. But we've got people in Australia suffering big time financially right now, and he's not roping in his own people. As a matter of fact, let me say this. The mutiny of Albanese has already begun. Last week, when he made a decision to slash how many people the backbenchers could have on their team, he created some enemies. And let me tell you something about the Labor Party. They don't like having people like Albo stab them in the back. And that's what they feel is happening. Now, when you get Jackie Lambie and Pauline Hanson getting mad at you, Albo, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Because what you've done is you've shot the very people, apart from Pauline, of course, who helped you get elected. And when you do that, it backfires on you. Mark my words. We are living in a nation that is in the middle of chaos, absolute chaos, financial chaos, moral chaos. It's chaotic even with our whole ethics and values. And I've got a lot more to say about that. And I'm really going to tick some of you off today. And I hope I do. Because some of you, quite frankly, I don't want you on my Facebook. Because you have no idea. And I don't mean to be arrogant or rude, but let me just say this. On the weekend, I posted a post regarding the Roe versus Wade issue in America. Now, I happen to believe that life begins in the womb, at conception. I don't mind what you believe. Believe what you want to believe. But I believe in life. Many of you got so pissed off about an injection because it was loss of life, but you don't give one damn of a care about an innocent child in a womb. And don't give me the thing about rape, because the whole issue of that is, the whole rape issue is so infinitesimal. How can you say you are for life in that area, but not for an innocent child in the womb? And by the way, that was an issue of overseas. But I've got to tell you, Palaszczuk and our government in Australia have the worst laws when it comes to abortion in this country. And no, I will not be silent. And if you don't like what I say, nick off. Now, I know that doesn't sound very Christian, but I'm not going to change my stance just because some of you out there want to vilify, put stuff up here that's offensive. I'm not tolerating it. I don't need you, quite frankly. I've got people lining up to get involved on our social media. And I'm not being arrogant. I'm taking a stand. Just like I took a stand for 2 years ago for some of you that wanted freedom. That child is innocent. And there are thousands of people wanting to adopt children. thousands of them. And if a crime is committed, that child should not be punished. I have everything inside me wants to put up on here videos of the dismemberment that happens to an aborted fetus. Now, I'll probably get banned for this one, but quite frankly, I don't give two hoots. And some of you Christians out there ought to hang your head in shame. I know of a mega church in Sydney, which has got plants all over Australia, vilifying the decision by the Supreme Court. Let me tell you, you biblically ignorant people have got no clue. None. None whatsoever. Some guy online says to me, give me biblical proof. I'm not going to do the research for you, sunshine. Go do it yourself. I posted 10 scriptures. 10. Now, what I understand is that all of my audience is not Christian, and I get it. And I know there are good people out there that have had to suffer through going through an abortion, and my heart goes out to you. And there is healing, and there is hope, and there is care. But let me just say this. In the United States, for every Planned Parenthood place there are 9 pregnancy centers run by Christian organizations. And on the other hand, why the hell is the church in Australia so quiet on this issue? Our major denominations have allowed this issue to run riot. And I'm telling you, the blood of the innocent will be on our hands. And then, of course, in America, you've got the peace, joy, and love crowd, all of a sudden burning things down, saying to hell with the Supreme Court. Yeah, I am agitated today. Get used to it. They want to indict Trump. And some of you make comments about Trump. You don't even know the man. You never met the man. I toured with the man. I saw him give away millions to charity, and don't tell me he can afford to. How much are you giving to the broken and the disadvantaged? Shame on some of you. Now, I know that's not a lot of you. But some morons out there, and that's all I can call you, you speak out of your ignorance. One guy said to me, first crypto, now this. Well, I'm telling you, I've had the testimonies of people that invested in crypto, and it's worked. Just like share trading, just like properties. But people that are ignorant want to advertise their stupidity on social media. And I've had a gutful of it. So those of you that dare, you will be short-lived. If you don't like what I say, go somewhere else to some woke speaker that stands for nothing and that never supported you for the last 2 years. I am a conservative believer. I'm anti-drugs, I'm anti-abortion, and I'm anti-you not having the power over your own body. And if you don't like that, you find somewhere else to listen. Because sometimes you got to make a stand and you got to get ticked off enough. Now let's get back to what I wanted to say. Albanese's flying all over the world, trying to make his name on the global stage. We elected you to run Australia. Now, Adam Bandit, who removed the Australian flag, can I remind you, you lefty, communist, fascist leader, that you were elected by the people of Australia under which flag you stand. And don't tell me that that flag represents a lot of pain, because I'm here to tell you what you're proposing with your policy is going to cause more pain and more economic destruction and more family breakdowns. And then Lydia Thorpe, who says that basically the flag and all that doesn't represent her. Can I advise you, Lydia? Go and stop taking the money that the colony actually pays you. And if it wasn't for colonisation, there would not be a flag that's going to be paid $25 million to be put up there on Sydney Harbour. It wouldn't happen. If it wasn't for colonisation, people would not even have the right to vote or housing or anything like that. So Lydia Thorpe and Adam Bandit, what you ought to do is resign Parliament and stop taking the paycheck that we give you to misrepresent and that we pay you to insult the people of Australia and our veterans and the flag by which we stand. You are traitors. You ought to be tried for treason. That's what ought to happen. And what's up with the Liberal Party? Dear Lord, Peter Dutton, rein your deputy in. Susan Ley shooting her big mouth off about something that doesn't even concern us. You are losing the Conservative vote. And if you think for one split second that you're going to go to the middle and left to win women's votes, you are sadly mistaken, because there are millions of women out there who disagree with you, Susan. And by the way, who are you anyway? Who are you? From what I've seen, you haven't done much except stick your face on TV and say that it's set back America 20 years. You just set the Liberal Party back a lot of years. Matter of fact, I'm going to put this out there. You probably just caused another loss for the Liberal Party for the next election. Peter Dutton, you better rope some of these in. You're an ex-man that understands authority, but obviously the woman you picked, which was a token pick, I believe, she's not helping you. And you better set your policies straight in what you believe. Otherwise, people like me are going to be ranting and raving for the next 3 years, and Albo will get in again. And God help us all, more power to the Greens and the Teals. Because you guys are standing for nothing. And while I'm on the subject, where in the world are our Christian ministers on these issues? They are nowhere like they've always been. Nowhere. $60 million has been cut off from Christian chaplaincies, and not a word from any pulpit. Not a word that at least I know of. This is not right. Our nation needs an awakening. Listen to me very carefully. Our nation needs a governmental, a spiritual, and an economical awakening. And I mean a real one. Because we are led down the garden path of this climate change nonsense. There's enough coal in our nation, that could look after us for thousands of years. And those solar panels they make out there, part of those components are made from coal. And by the way, what's wrong with nuclear energy? Well, you're looking for reliable energy, which is unsustainable. Unsustainable. And all these left-wing woke Christians out there that are rah-rahing this, when you lose your job, I know what you're going to do. You're going to go back to Centrelink, because you're used to handout mentalities. We need to be people that stand for something. If this nation does not start standing for something, we will fall for anything and everything, and we already have. We fell for the lies of the Teals, and we've fallen for the lie of Adam Bant. This man ought to resign. Why should this man be paid when he is disparaging the very flag by which he's supposedly supposed to support? Now, I'm going to say something that's going to make some of you really mad. If you want a society that is all about the Indigenous flag, I tell you what, let's give you all the land that you claim, and you run your own country, and you run your own finances, and you run everything. No more handouts. None of it. Now, I've got a lot of Aboriginals, elders and leaders that would agree with me. You run your own thing and see how you go. You run it yourselves. It's not about the white man or the black man. This is about the heart of man. It is deceitfully wicked. And all these lefty politicians, all they're doing is using you to line their pocket. They don't care about you. They don't care about Indigenous people and their freedoms. They don't care about colonisation. Why should we have to pay for the sins of forefathers? That's like telling me if Adam Bant's father committed a crime, he should go to jail for it. Maybe he should. That's like telling me that Lydia Thorpe, anyone in your family did it wrong, you ought to pay the penalty for it, lady. This is madness. And I know I'm pretty fired up and passionate about it today because I've been sitting on it all weekend. And those of you out there, you Christian folk out there, that start saying that abortion, my body, my choice. Well, it's not your body, it's a baby's body. Look at the studies and go read your Bible. Biblically ignorant people say stupid stuff. And I blame the woke-topian church and its leaders. These mega churches that have said nothing. Nothing. One major leader in this country, actually he's not in this country now, for 30 years he said nothing. Then he puts up a post about 63 million people have been murdered. Well, where were you when you could have opened up your mouth and done something, sir? You're on the beaches somewhere, abandoned the country when it was in need, and now you put up that. See, everybody, listen to me very carefully. Everybody loves a miracle after it's a miracle. We celebrate it after. But very few people want to fight in the trenches to create the miracle. Anyway, I know I've been pretty heated today, and quite frankly, I don't mind every now and again letting loose. Because right now, our country's freedom is at stake, and our financial freedom is at stake. The policy of the Greens is going to cripple this country and that of the Teals. And it's up to you and I to do something. And I'm very grateful for all of you that support, and I know many of you agree with what I'm saying, and some of you, I know I ticked you off on the weekend. I got lambasted. We had to block and delete stuff. It's quite offensive, actually, some of the stuff. But if you don't like what I say, just go somewhere else. I don't need you. If I need you, I can't lead you. And I'll tell you one thing in my life. I've made some compromises, but I'm not going to compromise on this sort of stuff anymore. I'm going to stand up for the voice of those that have no voice, including children in the womb, including teachers that were sacked. And by the way, Dan Andrews sacked 240. Now he's released a mandate so they can get their jobs back. This recalcitrant, ignorant bully, all he's doing is trying to win votes. Now, this coming Wednesday, I have a very special half-day event. If you don't want to be on it, you don't need to. But many of you are praying for financial solutions, or you're praying for financial miracles. What you need is strategies. Strategies create financial freedoms. Not emotion, not ranting, not raving. Strategies. And if you're trying to use yesterday's methods in today's world, you're going to be left in the dust. I want to repeat what I've been saying for weeks. Don't confuse the world digital currency they're trying to do with things like crypto or the stock market. If that's the case, sell your home and go live in a tent. You've got to be financially and fiscally sound and know. You've got to know. And some people live in ignorance, and ignorance is bliss until the seed of revelation explodes and debunks the myths. So this Wednesday, I think we've got about 47 spots left. Could I encourage you to be part of our event? I have two of the world's leading experts. They'll both be sharing from a different angle on how you can build a financial income on a very small amount, from as little as $100, $200. Listen, many people are looking for the golden pot at the end of the rainbow. Warren Buffett said this: it's not the amount of money you invest that makes a difference. It's simply the discipline of investing. May I remind you that Joseph in the Old Testament said, put away 20% and invest it during the time of famine, during the time of abundance, so when the time of famine comes, we can increase. And we want to teach you how you can build some increase. So join us Wednesday. There'll be a link at the beginning of this rant today, and I'll also post it on our in the chat room here. If you don't want to be part of it, great. If you do, there is, I don't know, whatever spots my team has let me know. And I just want us to be people. Listen to me. I know I come across hard and pretty strong, but we've got to start standing up for truth, folks. What I don't understand, and I want to leave you this thought. Why the assault on children? The transgenders are assaulting them in the school. The pedophiles are running rampant around the world. And now they're attacking the womb. Listen to me very carefully. And I want you to hear me, even those of you that disagree with me. I will fight for life from the womb to the tomb and everything in between. Now that's where I stand. If you don't like that, goodbye. You don't even have to announce it to me. Just go to some woke guy that won't fight for you, that doesn't stick their hand in their pocket to defend your rights. Just go there. Or follow some other fool or ning-nong out there on social media that you agree with, that has no impact, no authority, no weight behind what they say. This will be a conservative platform. And mind you, nearly everyone I talk about, I know, and I've met them, including the former President of the United States. So don't attack out of your ignorance. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Now, Wednesday's going to be a great day. We're going to put a link in the chat here, and if you want to be part of it, look, the tickets are free. It's 4 hours. It's a half-day event. I've purposely brought two guys in to show you two different strategies. Are you with me? There's not one strategy. There's buy and hold. There's flipping. So many strategies. And listen, if your teenagers are around, get them on because they will get this. Thank you for listening. God bless you, and see you on Wednesday.